fellow bistros, welcome back again. As you see, I am playing Seers. I am quite intrigued what's going to happen next. And I actually took the time to actually remember the girl's name I couldn't pronounce really. It was Arlene. I just didn't know how to say it actually. When it comes to names, like actual names, there's certain like names that I have no idea how to say in general because the pronunciation could be very weird or the way it's spelled can be, pronounced wrong. Okay, but yeah, we're going on to chapter 2 now. Winds. Hey, they adventure into the hotlands beneath the incense hollow of the wind. Hey, I watch them from afar. The Seers have a stronger hold here inland. I must be careful that my presence isn't felt. Duncan and Eric lead the convey and fix a fast pace for the other members of the expedition. Arlene, comes at the back. She hurries to catch up with Genevieve. The healer turns towards Arlene. A benevolent smile lightens her face. It's Arlene that Genevieve can be so kind without undermining her determination. Determination. There you go. Need my drink. Alright. What we saw earlier, was it a seer? Yes, at least the legend describes them like that. Have you never heard the stories told about them? My father wasn't from around here. He came from the south. As for my mother, let's just say she didn't have the time to pass all of them down to me. Oh, I understand. Do you know what they want? The Seers? No one really knows their intention. They choose those who are worthy to receive the gift, but we don't know how or why. Genevieve reflects for a few moments. But why have you come to the Islands if you weren't prepared for the trials? I'm the eldest of a large family. I have to take care of my brothers and sisters. When Ernest, I think, the healer of my village, died, I agreed to submit to the integrant to replace her. In exchange, the people of my village will ensure that my family lacks for nothing. Yes, I imagine can't be easy being the daughter of a outsider in a small village. A fleeting bitter yet resigned smile across Alarian's. I forgot her name already. Alarian. Oh no. Fuck! Hold on, I need a moment. Arlene, there you go. I need a moment. Again, I keep forgetting the names. I'm not good at remembering names. I suck with names. Hey. Enid, actually I think it's called Enid, yeah. Was the only one not to regard us as strange beasts. She explains the rudiments of me, how to prepare a few ornaments. And you're not a bit too old for the integration. Genevieve smiles. Oh, I'm not so old as all that. Arlene blushes at her blunder. Sorry, forgive me. That's not what I meant to say. But you're right. I never imagined that one day I would become a shaman. Really? But you seem to know so much. If you haven't bandaged Brandon's leg, he wouldn't be able to carry on with us. There you go. Oh, that wasn't much. But you mustn't have a lot of questions, no? It doesn't bother you? You sure? On the contrary, it makes the walk less tedious. That is just true. It's better than just being quiet, just like that, you know? Like, I'll be bored out of my mind. If the winds would drop a little, though... Oh yes, our ears will ache more than our legs if this keeps up. I'm listening. How can I try to enlighten you? Ooh, here we go. About the Seers, about Genevieve, about the other members of the expedition. Ooh. I kind of want to know about the Seers, because I don't really know much about them. I probably should look it up if there's actually any real myths or legends about them, because I honestly don't know. At this moment, I don't know. So, about the Seers. So, these children are really the Seers of the island? Yes. The island is a kind of door into the world of the Seers, you could say. In reality, the Seers are everywhere around us in nature. The wind, the tides, even the storm, and the flames. It's them that brings those about. Here, the boundary between the two worlds is especially thin, so we can see them. If we receive the sacred frames, we will be linked to them with their magic. According to the legend, the Seers that we see on this island are the guardians who will only allow those worthy to reach the flames. Guardians, yet they don't seem very ferocious. Oh, don't trust their appearance. We do well to think that with the fear and defense that they deserve. They scare me, they inspire my trust. I'm gonna go with the trust, because we shouldn't fear them. If we fear them, it may actually not be good. I can't tell why, but they inspire my trust. I think they know that what we're doing. I don't know. We can't compare them to ourselves, right? They must see the world very differently to how we do. Trying putting yourself in their place. What would you do if strangers come to your home and start eating your preservatives? Aline laughs. I was about to forget the name again. God damn it, I remembered. And yet, they need us, and we need them. Oh yes. Why would they need us? They need shamans to guide men so that the balance of nature is kept in our world. We became their ambassadors. There you go. What the fuck was I having a problem with that? Ambassadors with other people if they judge us worthy of the task. I haven't seen it that way. And us, we need their magic and their wisdom. The Seers control us? It's a win-win situation. I would say it's a win-win situation because it's not really control. Okay? Like, again, we both need each other, like coexistence. That's what it needs. It seems like a fair deal to me. Everybody wins. I don't know. But if we reach the end of the trials, maybe we'll understand their aim better. I know that we have to undergo trials to reach the summit of the island, but no one seems to know what really awaits for us. I don't know either. I don't much either. The shamans who have survived the interactions don't speak of what happens on the island. But if a shaman chosen you as their successors, they should prepare you the best that they can. It seems a bit strange that they don't share their experience on the island with their disciples, don't you think? I think the reason why they only share it is mainly because either one, they have to keep it a secret because they have to prove their worth. That's why. And two, the tribes are probably always different. depending on the people that are doing the expeditions. To me, like, again, like, say if I was in an expedition where I have to cross a spiky ridge or some shit like that, okay, at the beginning, like with them, okay, but then the next expedition, there's no spiky ridge, but like just a big cliff that goes to a raging river, something like that. Okay, so I think that there was no point of actually, telling the experience, because probably their predecessors told them the experience, but it wasn't exactly what they were told. You see? And Glass, you're dealing with magical creatures. Like, really? I would not take the chance of, like, I wouldn't even bother telling them my experience then, if it was them. At least the shaman and stuff like that, telling my disciples. But, we haven't had a mentor, you and I, but if you ask Freya or Duncan, for example, they'll tell you that their mentors prepare them for the trial without telling them what awaits them, really. Genevieve thinks. I can see two possible reasons. Either explain the situation of the trials won't be of any help in succeeding, that, okay, kind of like I say, or it's again, something I kind of mentioned, or it's taboo, and maybe the Seers will forbid them to speak of it. I imagine the trials will be different for each of us. Yes. Right? Again, Genevieve and I think are on the same wavelength. You know, we have the same mind, same big brains. Well, no, she's probably smarter than I do, because I don't know how to heal. I'm not a healer. I'll probably break more than heal. Oh, that makes you say that. What makes you say that, sorry? For example, look at Connor and Eric. Those constitute of trials for Connor would be a trifle for Eric, and vice versa. In any case, we know soon enough. Something else? Oh, we can actually just keep okay. Well, let's learn a bit about her now. I want to know more about Genevieve, if we can. You say you haven't planned to becoming a shaman. No, that's right. I've only been preparing my interactions for 2 weeks. Alright. Oh, and what made you come to the island? The shadow of a burnt pain flit across Genevieve's face. You could say that a curse devastated my village. Decimated my village, sorry. Everything went from bad to worse, and I felt powerless. I swore to myself that I won't do what I could. I could do what I could to never find myself in a situation again. In that situation again. Sorry, I'm messing up now. A studio herbalism? I don't know. And a healing craft. I soon knew that if I wanted to see it through, I had to complete my intuition. I'm probably messing things up right now. That's how I find myself here with you. A little older, certainly, than most of the people who came to the island. Arlene, I had to think for a moment. God damn it, I really need to. I'm gonna probably like later just keep saying Arlene, like I'm doing right now, Arlene, until I remember the name. Sheesh. If I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Arlene just so I can remember that name. I doubt I'll ever have a daughter, but still. Arlene would have liked to know more, but Genevieve doesn't seem to want to pursuing the topic. Okay, actual more details, talk about something else. I'm gonna back off a bit. I don't want, like I said, she seems like a nice person. Okay, so yeah, Arlene doesn't have the heart to question Genevieve further. She's casually changed the subject. Okay, something else. Continue the silence, or about the other members of yeah, I'm gonna go about that. I want to see her, like, her opinion, like, hear her opinions. What do you think about our group? Our group? How should I put it? Everyone seems nice enough in themselves. Jennifer seems to be looking for the right words. That said, I'm afraid that some of us aren't truly ready for what awaits them. It's clear that Brandon doesn't seem to really know why he's here. Yes, in fact, I'm a bit concerned about that he's staying with us. But I wasn't thinking about him in particular. Ooh. I'm gonna go with Duncan. Like, Connor doesn't seem like he's quite ready, but like, he seems like he can probably work through it. Okay, but Duncan, he's a bit, from my at least impression of him, too like hard-headed, basically. You know, he just doesn't seem like he thinks. Too reckless. You're thinking of Duncan? It's true that he's a bit bossy and impatient. Yes. Oh no, I think Duncan has a good chance of succeeding. Nah, I'm going with Duncan. In that case, I don't see Freya and Eric come from the north. I can see them failing. I can't see them failing, sorry. Well, to be honest, in fact, I was thinking of Eric. Oh, really? What makes you say that? Yeah, Eric. But he seems to really know what he's doing. Yes, but he's eaten up by anger and thirst for revenge. Ooh. Yeah, that's not good then. That might not make him qualified to get the sacred flames. It's a volatile mix. Elaine thinks it will be alright. Elaine is worried. Elaine, I'm gonna go with that. I think I'll be a little worrisome right there. Yes, you're right. It probably wouldn't take a lot to set him off. I hope I'm wrong, even if. Genevieve breaks off, looking unsettled. I'm sorry, I just had a kind of deja vu. I had a name of the tip of my tongue, as if there was someone missing from the expedition. It's happened a few times since we arrived on the island. You haven't? Elaine thinks. No, I don't think so, but I felt like we're being watched since we set foot on the beach, or that beach. Of course, it might be the Seers of the island. Might be just the Seers of the island. Yes, maybe. I noticed that you passed some time with Freya. What do you think of her? I admit, I'm finding her hard to pin down. Actually, from my interactions with her, she seems very lovely. She's lovely. I think she's someone reliable and trustworthy. Well, you seem to get on well, the two of you. Are we holding hands? Aw, it's cute. The two young women continue in silence. The sun has already begun to descend towards twilight. Genevieve pulls a pouch made from a knotted rag from her sack. She takes out a biscuit, which she offers to Elaine, and takes out another for herself. Elaine accepts gratefully. She noticed that mineral scent of the ocean has lessened, despite the constant. There you go. Got tongue-tied. Gust. That happens to a lot of me, so I do apologize if I get tongue-tied. Far off, a forest can be seen climbing along the rooftop of the summit. She wonders if they'll reach the outskirts before night. The trees will provide some shelter from the winds. At the head of the line, Duncan tries to keep up a fast pace with the far-off forest in the line of sight. There's no real path to show him exactly which route to take, but the health is steward with megalith, which seems to mark the way. He is not sure, but he thinks his uncle, Leith, I'm bad with names again, had mentioned this in a errant moment one even in, oh boy, I have no idea how to say that. When Duncan had taken advantage of his embrations to ask him about the island. The way waves from standing stone to standing stone. Sorry. Whether he's right or not, it seems to him much wiser to trust these markers, which perhaps guides them against invisible dangers, than to take the more direct route towards the forest. In living memories, the islands have always been wild, uninhabited. Only visions from time to time, my exploration of novice comes to seek the approval of the Seers to complete their magical intonation. Duncan reaches the monolith, which has passed on the he has passed on the left as tradition dictates. Right? On this one, if he squids, he can decipher intelligence carving half erased by the winds and rains. Duncan suppose that these engravings must probably tell a story, or at least reveal more about the marks of these edifice. I have no idea. The legends did not tell them the Seers as builders, and even less as being able to or wanted to raise monuments in the kingdom of men. The only explanation could be that in time past, the island was inhabitable by a permanent population, and a big one considering the size of this work. Without mentioning that stairs up the cliff that Eric and Freya had found. What's could have made the creation of the standing stone vanish. There you go. Behind him, he hears Freya called out, "Duncan!" He stops and turns. Freya jogs to catch him up. There you go. Eric is following close behind them, but they are well ahead of the rest of the group. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize we were leaving the others behind. No, it's not that. Look. Oh. Okay, Freya points over to the right. A stone thrown away are two of the antlered children. One of them beckons the group to come closer. Yes, I see them. I think they're signaling us to follow them. Yes, but then we'll have to leave the path of the Karen. I don't know. The Karen? I don't know. I have no idea I'm saying this correctly, so I do apologize if I'm butchering these things. Yes, the monolith I noticed were you were guiding the group from standing stones to standing stones. Did your mentor speak of them to you too? Not really. He mentioned them vaguely. Right? It came back to me when I saw them. But it seems logical to me to use them as a landmark to get to the forest. Oh, I thought you knew. Odd. So she's gonna probably tell me something about the monoliths actually that maybe Duncan may not know. Oh, Gudrid, the shaman of my clan, warned me about the monoliths. Oh, meaning? She told me that we must not divert. I believe something happens on her expedition when they try to leave the path. Duncan studies Freya. Oh yes, your mentor spoke to you about the island. Oh, of course not. You knew that that's forbidden, but occasionally from time to time, some information would slip out. Exactly. That said, if the Seers asked us to follow him, surely it would be better to listen, don't you think? Eric overtakes them without stopping. Hey. Well, lovebirds. Oh, no. I don't want us to be lovebirds. No. Hey. We're not here for dawdling. Wait, Eric. Did you see? This time, it's Duncan who pointed towards the Seers. Yes, those are Seers. Right? They've been waving to us for a while. Didn't you notice? Freya looks ruffled, as if her pride had been wounded. Oh. I confess, I was looking straight ahead. I was careless. Never mind. It's only to be expected that a woman, wouldn't be good at tracking. Oh, that's sexist. Though, if you think about the time period, actually, I'm not surprised of that mindset. But still, Duncan wonders whether he should point out that it was Frey who has shown him the antler children, but Eric doesn't allow him to that time. Oh, your ass. Whether you should follow the monolith. Wait, the Seers are clearly trying to lead us astray. Freya, her voice like eyes, executing each syllabus, does not see things the same way. No, I believe we should trust the Seers. We should follow them. Oh, Alec puts a malicing hand to his weapon. Duncan has settled this must settle this fast before the disagreement decides into a fist fight. Well, that's the thing, like, I think we should follow the monoliths. Okay? It could be part of the trial. Because both their mentors are kind of mentioning about the monoliths, but one of them seemed like, we're gonna follow the monoliths. We're gonna follow the monoliths. Eric's like, it's wiser to follow the Karens. We can't be sure if the Seers want us. In any case, no woman's going to the... Oh my god. Eric is such an ass. What should I do? Freya looks livid with anger. I don't care how you treat the women in your clan, but you will not disrespect me. True. Eric draws his weapon. Eric, don't do that. Bad. Bad, Eric. Bad. I treat women the way they deserve, and it's not my problem if the men of your clan lets themselves be walk around all over. Oh my god, Eric, you deserve a smack in the face. Connor joins them. What's going on? He looks amused and faint smile on his lips. We leave you alone for 2 minutes, and how do you know it's been 2? Oi! Oi! Hold on. Eric sharply knocks Connor to the ground with the back of his hand. Hey, you stay out of it. It's not some city boys who's going to give me lessons. Wow, hold on. Connor looks terrified. Geneva and Elaine, there you go, I remember again, joins the group running. Brandon speeds up despite his wounds to catch up with the group. The healer steps between Eric and Connor. No, that's enough. Are you trying to kill each other? What's the problem? We saw a seer singling us to follow them. Duncan glanced at the direction of the Seers who had vanished in the meantime. I think I should probably went with Freya. I'm kind of regretting my choice now. Freya suggested that we follow them. Alec wanted to keep following the monoliths. And you, Duncan, what did you think? I think we should follow the monoliths. Genevieve thinks. The three of yous are the most seasonal guides. If no one objects, I think I will follow the majority. Everyone agrees. So be it. I can defer to a reasonable argument, unlike some. There you go. Eric goes to open his mouth, then thinks about it, after glancing over to Genevieve. The group gets moving again. Duncan and Conan return to the head of the line, guiding the rest of the expedition from one monolith to the next. They move forward with difficulties. The constant winds blows in the ears and slows their progress. They pass a circle of standing stones on the right. Duncan stops and looks with vision constantly. What is it? Concerningly, sorry. It's a chromelith, a stone circle. Our ancestors used them as calendars. There you go. I had to think for a moment for some reason. To track the position of the stars, the moons, and the sun. Duncan inclines indicates a dolmen in the circle. Signal fits. Sorry, I messed up. I always messed up a lot. I don't know why. I do apologize again. You see that? That's the east door. It's a place so that the sun rise exactly within the frame of the day of Litha? Okay. When we watch from the center of the circle. That's a lot of work for a simple sundial, isn't it? Duncan scowls? No, this isn't a simple sundial. This is a ceremonial edifice, which allows us to be in harmony with nature and the entire universe during the ceremonies. I suppose you lot in the cities, you prefer to shut yourself up in temples, nice and warm, well protected from the sun. The two enter the heated debate as they continue their walk. After a while, Kyle looks up and notices that the forest seems no closer. Further on the right, there's a stone circle. Duncan is delivering a long description of the supposedly superior Porphyrius? I don't know. When he realized that Connor has stopped listening. Hey, you're not listening. Haven't you already came to this way? Duncan suddenly noticed the nearly cornless? I don't know. He turns and checks the distance from having converted. But how is that possible? It's as though we've been walking at the spot all the time. This time, I don't know, but one thing for sure, the sun hasn't been walking at the spot. Yes, we should make camp. A pity. I would have liked to reach the forest before nightfall. We're all tired. That's with the crossing, the storm, and the walk. Things will get clear in the morning. Night has fallen on them. The Haith, not providing the guilt of dry wood. Elaine and Duncan had made a modest fire on the site of another older campfire. Probably the remains of the previous expedition. Connor stretches his tired legs. It's the first time he truly slept beneath the stars. Of course, he has slept on the pouches in the alley between the temple took him in. But he never liked this. With the stars-filled sky like a jewel encrusting orbs stretching from one end to the horizon of the horizon to the other. The rest of the group seems just as weary, munching slightly of the loaf of bread and the cheese they have shared out. The provisions they have brought will not hold up for long. They will have to find sustenance on the island quickly. Oh, they're playing. Nice. Elaine has finished her meal and she pulls out a small wooden flute from her bag. The other members of the expedition who are converting in low voice or eating in silence stop what they were doing to listen to the melancholic air with amber I have no idea I'm saying it from the instrument. Emerge from the instrument. There you go. What the fuck is wrong with me again? The melody is childlike, innocent, and Connor thinks it must be from a lullaby or a nursery rhyme. He had never heard anything like that before. The music of the temple is thunderous and righteous. As for the dance that could be heard in the city tavern, they definitely didn't have the gentle, nostalgic tonalic of the lament that came from Elaine's flute. Elaine closes her eyes as she plays, as if possessed by a state of spiritual reveal. As the last note of the melody flute into the night, Elaine realized that everyone is watching her in silence. She blushes. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your conversation. Brandon gives her a concerned look. It's amazing. We come from the same region, and yet I don't know that song. Where did you learn it? My father taught it to me. He comes from the south. It's natural that you wouldn't know the tune. When he was always on the road, I play it for my brothers and sisters. I'm gonna compliment it. In any case, you played very well. You're just as good as the in the I don't know how to say that in the capitals. Elaine gives a hint of an embarrassing smile. Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Genevieve smiles. Can you play another? Your flute has such a calming sound, and it helps me to think. After everything that has happened today, I need to organize my thoughts. There's something. Genevieve turns to the group. I don't know, but I have this sensation of having a word on the tip of my tongue without being able to find it. There you go. Is Alex asleep? Alright. Some agrees, other looks at Genevieve with surprise. Alec lies down, turning his back on the fire, grumbling that it would be better to gather their strength, that it won't stop him from sleeping, but still. Elaine resumes playing. Connor listens with a distracted ear before noticing that Genevieve is staring at the flame with a strange intensity. For a long while, the group allows themselves to be lured by the inflowing of the mysterious note at Elaine's flute. Then she opens her eyes and stops playing. Genevieve continues to stare into the fire, which has unexpectedly became fierce. She turns her eyes towards the darkness, towards the emptiness of the heathland. Then she turns to Elaine. Be cautious of the whisper in the night. Ooh. Something interesting is gonna be happening. Are you sure? Are you sure you are mistress of the chosen? Elaine doesn't know how to react. Genevieve, are you alright? Genevieve stares into the night. You are not worthy of the flames. What? What? The knot may tie and unite. You will continue. It will change nothing. Accept your destiny and let us leave. Connor takes Genevieve by the arm and shakes her gently. Genevieve? She seems confused for a moment, then she smiles. Yes? What were you talking to? Me? To no one. I was just listening to Elaine's. Thank you, Elaine. That was wonderful. You don't remember? Genevieve almost yawns. Yawns in concern. Don't remember what? Connor turns to the others, hoping that someone knows what to do. The others look at loss as him. Insist or reinsure Genevieve? I'm going to insist because I think we need to establish that she did something weird. You said something about a knot and the flames, don't you remember? No. Really, I'm sorry. It must be the strain. We're all tired, but am I the only one to be a bit shaken up by what happened today? I mean, some of you have been prepared for this journey on the island. I know that I came from the city, which you haven't hastily pointed out, some more than others. Connor glanced at Eric, who seems to have fallen asleep in the meantime. Listen, Connor, maybe we've been a little better prepared to become shamans, but we do not know any more than you. What happened on this island is taboo, right? Our predecessors wouldn't permit to speak of it, just as you were to be forbidden. Well, the one who managed to reach the summit and receive the flame. I suppose everything will become clear at some point. But in the meantime, we mustn't trust the Seers. It's not as far as had any choices. Fred is right. We'll do better to get some rest. We won't find the answer by staying up all night. Genevieve lies down by the fire and closes her eyes. The others do the same. Connors contemplate the flames for a moment. This strange world, people with Seers, Karens, and sea monsters is a long way from a daily life of the temple. The wider expanse of the island almost frightens him. After so many years, conclusion in the cell, the days punctuated by the inexorable ringing of the temple's bells. He still doesn't understand why he has to be sent there. Does he truly have a mission to accomplish? A vital role to strengthen the circumstance of the temple? Or was he simply sent here because the selector authorities didn't know what to do with him? Connor shrugs him off. Himself. Then he crawls up into the fire, trying like the others to get some sleep. I watch the flames become embered. I hide to avoid encountering the Seers who roam the heath in the small hours of the night. I'm not ready yet. Sorry. When they drew near the expedition, taking advantage of their human torpor, I don't know, I returned to the beach of whales. Here, if the confine of my domain, I am almost transparent, like a serif strip of its rings. but the moon reflects on the ocean waves, the salt fragrant air, so vivid of my memories, act on my awareness like a promise of renewed freedom. When I am sure that the Seers have fallen their inspiration of a flash, I return to the hive to watch over my patient survivors. Genevieve is missing. Oh. The Seers must have seized her and separate her from the group. For always it is burnish groom which precede the sunrise. I glimpse her health towards the stone circle. Ooh. Ooh, who do I wake up? Either I am Brandon or Eric. I'm one of those two right now. Who did I wake up? I'm gonna wake up with Freya, because if I'm Brandon, because I don't know if I'm Brandon actually, to be honest, at the moment. Okay. Freya is a tracker, but also Duncan is too, but I don't like Duncan. Duncan seems like an ass. So Freya. Okay, something interesting is gonna happen. Flames and teeth filled Freya's dreams. She crumbles beneath the weight of the responsibility and grief. Her brow bare with icy sweat. With a ghostly care, I command her to leave the darkness of within to surface from the subterranean realm. She opens her eyes in panic. The other members of the group slumbers on. Instinct tells her that this nostalgia awakening is due to some external force. Her eyes flick to the crumbled blanket in Geminia's place. Oh no, I was the seer! Okay, I thought I was Brandon or Eric. My bad. She knows what I expect of her. She rises without a sound and head with a large stripe towards the conleth. I think I'm saying that correctly still. Like a hunter's hawk. Like a hunting hawk. The air is changed with the smell of thunder. It should awaken my survivor instincts, but I cannot stop myself from following the hunter, forgetting my pursuits. Pardons. Oh, Genevieve is at the center of the circle, heading towards the antlered children who come to meet her from the eastern edge. Is it too late? What must pass will pass. Freya's past the boundary of the conleth. I don't know. She crosses without hesitation. Oh, what is going to happen? Genevieve has reached the children. She stretches out a hand towards them. With a bright flash that emanates, Genevieve and the Seers have vanished. Freya feels a pressure behind her. My presence. She turns. She sees me. This is awesome, right? I'm actually really liking this. I wonder how other things will play out, but like, I'm kind of glad I picked Freya. I actually really like Freya. Like, Freya and Elaine are my two favorite ones. That and also Connor. I like Connor as well. But Genevieve, I kind of like, I don't say I don't like Genevieve, but like, I'm like neutral with her. So I'm a little upset she's vanished, but we might see her again. I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen, but let's see. During this frustration of a second, the time seems to stand still. Everything is clear. Lucid, I think. She opens her mouth and says nothing. But the wave of magic has broken on the boundaries of the conleth and ebbs towards the source, taking with it the insight of what is, of what has been, of what will be. And I am invisible again. Freya stays there for a moment, going around the stone circles, as if she's hoping to find a breach of the Seers. And if not, to see more clearly. She finally returns to the others. When she reaches the camp, the group is agitated. Duncan approaches her as soon as she has arrived. Her face shows a mix of worries and relief. Freya, you were getting ready to search for you. Have you seen Genevieve? Freya lowers her eyes. Duncan lets out a sigh. The rest of the group has come over. Freya tells them of the event in the night. The sudden awakened Genevieve disappearance, the Seers, the young woman glimpse in the cliff. I told you not to trust the Seers. You're an ass. Shut up. I'm sure they do everything they can to split us up, to make us vanish one after another. We must trust them. I'm gonna say we must. No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying Eric's right. I can't say we trust them. But I'm gonna definitely say I don't know. I don't know. I've only been taught to trust. But I confess, I don't know what to think anymore. How can we trust them if they're going to abduct members of our expedition? I know, and she's the healer too. Oh my god! If you go into any expedition in any fantasy-based kind of like game, world, Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know, you gotta protect the healers. The healers are like the backbone of the group, and you don't have a healer now. I'm not saying like maybe like Duncan, Eric, and Freya. They're all warrior / hunters, so they probably know some basic healing and stuff, but they can only do so much. But let me see. Connor looks nervous towards my doubt. Do you think she's dead? There's a long silence that Duncan resolves to break. Whatever the case, we must continue. I don't think it's any use to waiting for Genevieve to come back. Elaine points at her bag that Genevieve has left behind. What do we do with her things? I think we should at least share out the supplies. Elaine nods and begins to empty Genevieve's bag. They each come forward in turns to take the cloth contains dry fruit, bread, and dry meat. Right? At the bottom of the bag, Elaine finds a bone club, a firestone, then hesitates before withdrawing a ragdoll. Genevieve, had children? We talked together yesterday during the walk. She didn't speak of children, but she is married. She spoke of a plague which struck her down her village. Oh. Either that's like maybe something about siblings, because she could have siblings and they died from the plague, and that's just a reminder of them when they were young, or that her child died from the plague, if she had a child. Maybe she kept this doll as a memento. Perhaps, or maybe her daughter asked her to take it with her as a lucky charm. That is true. My little sister wanted me to take a little wooden horse, her favorite toy, when I left my village. Eric shows sign of impatience. Oh my god, Eric. I hope you're gone. I don't like you. Well, we'll share out the supplies. We should get moving again. Connor is about to make a remark, but changed his mind. Alright, but what do we do with the other things? No, take the doll. We're gonna take the doll because if for example Freya gets back, I think, and we don't find Genevieve, because we don't know what's gonna happen with Genevieve. Genevieve could be gone forever, and if there is someone that's still left behind, like I guess the husband or even just the daughter too, I think it would be right to return it if Freya is like that. So we're gonna take it. Freya's size. I'll take her things. You never know. If we ever find Genevieve, she would be happy if we kept them. That's true too. That's actually, I didn't think about that too. if she brought this doll with her, it must be important to her. Are you sure? I don't mind taking it with me. No, I think Freya should be the one taking it, actually, because she was the one that at least saw Genevieve gone at that moment. I think it's right for Freya to be the one to do it. Yes. I'll carry less than you. I'll carry less than you. I really don't mind. Very well. Elaine gives Genevieve's few belongings to Freya, who put them in her pouch. The group finish gathering its belongings and gets on the way. Freya glanced behind her to the crown lift. I have no idea I'm saying these correctly. In the space of an instant, she glimpsed something, like a silhouette disappearing behind the stone. A seer. She shrugs, then hurries to catch up to the end of the line. Ooh, chapter 3. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. Okay. Oh my god, Genevieve. I'm like really shocked what happened to her. Also, I have to point out, I am loving the art style. Like, just it looks absolutely amazing. I love it very much. I am really happy to be doing this, actually. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying this too. I do, again, apologize for my butchering reading and stuff like that. I don't normally read like out loud, so like I do mess up a lot here and there. I get tongue-tied. Okay, and mess up my pronunciations. Okay, I just thought I'd put that out there, and I do apologize if you guys get annoyed with that. And I just hope you guys understand about that stuff. Okay, but anyhow, I do hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I really hope that Genevieve isn't dead, something like that, or alive, or something. I'm just in total shock what happened to her. And yeah, anyhow, I'm gonna end here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I really did enjoy this a lot, and I'm looking forward to do chapter 3 very much. I really am. But anyhow, if you guys enjoy this again, because I keep saying this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you pound something if you enjoy. And if you guys do my channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon too so you know for new videos. And until next time, this is DomBeast, howling out.